will have revenge. The dark side of the Force is a pathway to many abilities some consider to be unnatural. Now you will experience the full power of the dark
expert on the occult and obtainer of rare antiquities and today tamed hair. Please welcome Dark Lord of the Sith, David.
McClunky!
Oh my, seriously, that's what you start with?
We're just going balls deep. McClunky!
The word that has
McClunky!
ravaged and upset the Star Wars community once again.
McClunky! I have no idea what it means, but I can't stop saying it. Wasn't that like in a kid's movie or something?
So I at first saw, when I saw it, I didn't see the whole word, and I saw it a very quick glimpse when you sent me the article. I thought it said malarkey.
Okay, I can see
just
malarkey.
Very quickly. So I was like, malarkey. I was like, seriously? His last dying word is malarkey.
No, it's even better. It's McClunky.
I'm just come on. Why? Look, we're going to get on a tangent. We haven't even introduced the episode because you want to bring up this word.
All right, fine. Gris, Chiss, Rhodians, crazy cats, guys, gals out there. This is Balance of the Force, a Star Wars podcast. Formerly known as Rule of Two, a Star Wars podcast. But we got a little bit of a facelift, got a lot of things going on. Disney Plus did drop. The Mandalorian first episode is out. And amazing. It's got a lot of things that we didn't think we were going to see. We'll get a little bit more into that in a little bit. We got, McClunky, which if you guys do not know what McClunky is, buckle up, Buttercup, because it's going to get crazy. You have the original... Well, you have all the Star Wars movies except for Last Jedi and Solo on Disney Plus. They are all streaming in beautiful 4K, high definition. So if you have a 4K TV, please take advantage of it and watch these on Disney Plus. But, John, other than the new name, new logo, we got a new Patreon going on. It's awesome. Got a lot of exclusivity. We got a Mandalorian episode deep dive discussion where you and me tear through every nook and cranny of that episode, and it was a long one. Don't get me wrong, but it was a blast. What do you think?
It was long.
I was supposed to say you've got no enthusiasm whatsoever. Yeah, I don't want to sign up for that Patreon either. It was long.
So for me, the Patreon, it was really in depth. I feel that at a point we were going frame by frame by frame to talk through the nitty gritty. But on top of that, guys, not only do we talk through every frame or every segment of the movie, we gave you our thoughts and our opinions on what was going to happen or what we thought was going to happen with the rest of the story. We talked about some characters that we may not see again or we may see again and how we're going to see them again. Just our impression overall of The Mandalorian. And so for me, like I said, it was a really long episode, but it's our first one. So go check it out. Give us feedback. Let us know. Sign up for Patreon. I think it's the Padawan Apprentice. Padawan Apprentice level, which is $10. And there's a lot of other things that come with that outside of just the hidden episode. But for me, I was just wow. We talked about a lot of stuff, but we each gave commentary on different things. I saw it twice. Dave saw it 3 times. Or did you see it a 4th time already?
I haven't had a chance to see it a 4th time. I'm very upset with myself. I will watch it later on tonight.
I felt I was thinking Dave was going to go to sleep watching The Mandalorian.
No, I don't want to go to sleep and pass out. I'll stay awake.
40 minutes long, great episode. The next one drops on Friday the 15th. So we can't look forward. We are looking forward to Chapter 2 of The Mandalorian.
So real quick, before we get into the rest of the fun stuff, on that episode of The Mandalorian, what time does it drop? Do I have to wake up at 5 a.m. again to watch?
So we never got an official...
I think it's out there somewhere.
Okay. Well, if you want me to Google it, I can Google it while we're on the air. You just
All
gotta
right,
keep going.
you Google, and I'll talk about the fact that I'm
McClunky.
eating a bowl of delicious homemade pasta, and it is accompanied by a 2 liter of Pepsi, which I have not drank the entire 2 liter of Pepsi, ladies and gentlemen. I only drank the last third of it, and it is delicious. If those of you that remember Wayne's World, it's a choice of a new generation. Um, yeah, Patreon, check us out, guys. We got a bunch of logos up on TeePublic as well. You can check out, grab, and own, and rep the balance of the Force. You know, John is the light. I am the darkness. And I think we kind of yin and yang pretty darn well, and our new symbol is a representation of that yin and yang between light and dark. I think
I have
John's
a
found something.
response.
He's found something.
Yes. So it says the first episode of Mandalorian will air on Disney Plus when it launches in the U.S. on November 12th at 6 a.m. So I'm going to assume I couldn't find anything on Chapter 2. I even searched Chapter 2 release time, and everything came up with Chapter 1, which is the first episode. I'm going to assume that it's dropping at 6 a.m.
That
Frequently.
doesn't feel right. That doesn't feel right, though.
Well, do you think it's going to drop at 12:01?
I don't know, but I could have sworn I saw somewhere where it said like a specific time where they would be launching, but maybe we'll find it later and throw it up on our Instagram, Facebook, Twitter account, and we'll go from there.
The easiest thing, I guess, is because it didn't. You were up at 5:30 and started watching it before 6 this last on Tuesday, right?
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
So maybe it is before then. Dave's gonna wake up on Friday at 12:01 to see if it's on Disney Plus, and then he will check every hour after that to see for us and report back. Okay. Thanks, Dave. We appreciate your patronage.
Okay.
And your ability to wake up. So, Mandalorian, it's out. Episode 2 comes out on Friday, as we mentioned. On top of that, Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order also releases on Friday. I know Dave has pre-ordered his deluxe edition, correct?
Mm-hmm,
And he will be picking it up from GameStop along with his Black Series figure. That's an exclusive with the game. And so,
which
Dave,
it's
here's
a purge trooper, if I'm not mistaken.
Dave. Here's the biggest question.
Okay.
When are you going to get your game? You're going to go wait. Is it a midnight release, first of all?
So, it shows you how old we are. They no longer do midnight releases for video games. They now do 9 p.m. releases. Just like they no longer do
Really?
midnight movie releases, it's all done earlier to accommodate those of you out there that have a bedtime. What? That's the day and age we live in where people have bedtimes, they got to be home. God forbid they stay out a little bit late and enjoy the ambiance, the lighting, or the lack thereof. It's a safety thing also. I get it. Whatever. But I remember the days of waiting out there for Halo 3, launching at midnight at my local GameStop, having tournaments, BSing with the buddies. It was good times. Just like the same thing with waiting in line for a Star Wars movie outside the theater before it was time to get released in.
So I guess the question comes: you're going to go get it at 9 p.m. to get the game.
Yep.
Are you going to sleep? Are you going to continue to start playing it right then and there? You're going to wait till the next morning? When are you going to watch The Mandalorian? Are you going to play the game, take a break, watch The Mandalorian? What's going on right now?
Sleep is for the weak. All right. I'm going to go into a Sith meditation. I'm going to go and preserve my essence, my mental faculties throughout the day at work. I'm not going to get exhausted. I'm going to stay fresh. I'm going to stay primed. I'm going to go pick up the game, come home, get ready to play it. While it's downloading and doing all of its updating nonsense, I'm going to partake in some food, maybe adult beverage or two. Start playing the game as soon as I possibly can. I don't think I'm really going to sleep because I've got Friday and Saturday off. I don't think I'm going to be able to beat the game in those 2 days because the level of detail and immersion that they're putting into these planets is pretty intense from what I've been hearing. So more than likely the game will not be beaten within these 2 days, but I want to enjoy it. I'm going to take a break at some point to watch The Mandalorian. Probably watch that episode continue playing, get back on the episode again, and then continue playing. Because again, I want to see what happens with The Mandalorian, and of course, I'm going to say it, John. Baby Yuck. With Baby Yuck.
You can find out who Baby Yuck is by signing up for our Patreon. I think we keep plugging the Patreon because Dave keeps like dropping these subtle hints. But I'm excited to see. I don't think Dave's going to sleep, and then he's going to be like, "John, we got to record another spoiler episode. We got to record Monday episode. We busy. We doing all this stuff." And so yeah, that's how it's going to be. But anyway, so something else that I found out, if you go to StarWars.com, which I didn't know this, we are recording this episode on Wednesday, November 13th. Is it the 13th? I'm sorry, I want to make sure. So it's the 13th. Tonight, which will be yesterday, when this podcast airs on Thursday, they're doing a Mandalorian Q&A with the cast. 8:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, which is 10:30 p.m. Central Time, and 11:30 p.m. Eastern Time. So that would be aired. It's going to be up on YouTube. We'll also check that out, and we'll have some commentary around it probably on our spoiler episode. So you guys just be prepared for that. You can find that on YouTube. We'll post a link as soon as we are able to. But I'm a little curious. Like, commentary with the cast, what is it going to be? Is it just going to be first reactions? Are they going to be reading comments, questions that people wrote in? It is a Q&A, so I'm assuming there will be that. But do you think it's all going to just be a Q&A?
What do you think? Like they're going to drop more deets on something, or they're going to show?
I don't
something?
think they're going to. No. I don't think they're going to drop more details. I don't think they're going to show. I don't think any of that. I'm just curious: are you seriously going to sit here and just have a Q&A from the fans saying, "What about this? What is this?" They're going to not. I don't think they're going to spoil anything. What they're going to do is somebody's going to ask a question, and they're going to very politically say the right response without giving anything away. But do you think
it's going to be nothing but Dave Filoni answers? Well, yeah, that's we'll see. It's that's a good point there, and adjusts the hat and whatnot. They're not going to give anything away. It's going to be just more of like, how was your experience? How was it wearing the armor? Where do we get to see Cara Dune? Blah blah blah. You know what I mean? Carl Weathers. Are you going to call yourself the the master of disaster, the prince of punch, all those little lines that he had in Rocky. It's just going to be fun back and forth, and just talking about their experience filming.
Yeah. I'm interested to see, so I'm going to watch it, and then we can talk about it on our next recording for the show. All right. So we don't want to get into too much of the nitty-gritty details of The Mandalorian, but Dave, just overall thoughts, any additional things that you haven't mentioned already? Are you excited? When did it have you hooked? Like, you don't have to say like scenes, but when did it have you hooked? Were you hooked before you even watched it? How many more times do you plan on watching Chapter 1 before Friday? Or give us anything else on The Mandalorian without spoiling anything.
I was hooked at Star Wars Celebration, Chicago, 2019.
In the snow.
In the snow. In the blizzard of Hoth. I was about to cut open a tauntaun. It was ridiculous out there.
It was cold.
It was cold. Yeah, I was hooked back then. I knew I was gonna dig it. The feel, the vibe, seeing the first episode, like it was almost surreal. It felt like we waited forever, but yet it came very quickly. To us actually being here, launch day, I was very impressed with the fact that the Disney streaming service didn't break. It wasn't.
It did.
It did break? I didn't experience any breakage.
Yeah, the server went down. There was a lot of people that got very upset when they were talking about the fact, Disney Plus failed them and blah, blah, blah. The server at some point started to get bogged down, I think, as the morning, like, as people started waking up and downloading it. And some people probably did what you did and took the day off and was like, and not just Star Wars fans, like, they took movies out of the Disney vaults and put them on Disney Plus. They remastered a lot of movies and things like that. But there was a lot of people who said they couldn't even get to the login screen. The servers were down. They kept experiencing issues. all that stuff. And so it was surprising. And what I didn't share with you, Dave texted me, told me, hey, like, it's time. And he downloaded it, opened the app, and he started watching it. So when I went to go open it up, there was no landing page. It was just a gray screen. Like, nothing came up. No, nothing on the Mandalorian, no Disney Plus. The only thing I had on the side was the icons, like home, search, movies. I had to go to there. I had to search, and then I had to almost type in the Mandalorian to even get a search criteria. I started watching it. I watched it, and probably about the last 10 minutes of the show, all I got was like this buffering circle in the center of the show. The rest of the 10 minutes, but it still played. But yeah, when I first logged on, that's what it was.
The early bird gets the worm.
Oh God, here we go.
I'm just saying. I woke up, watched some Mandalorian, took the dogs out, relaxed, enjoyed it. Which, Disney Plus is at 10 million subscribers already. 10 million subscribers, and the damn thing's only been up for 2 full days. As of right now, as we're shooting, it's not even been 48 hours. And it's already at 10 million subscribers. That's pretty phenomenal.
Yeah, and so, sorry, finish your Mandalorian thing, and then I'll get into some details.
You're good. Mandalorian, I was hooked at Chicago Celebration. Seeing it, it was surreal. I never thought I would see a live-action Star Wars TV show. It really hit on everything that they've been talking about. The vibe was there, the settings. It was beautiful. It didn't look like a low-budget feature. It looked pretty legit, like something you would see in a theater.
Absolutely.
The characters, Nick Nolte, I have spoken, and just turns around and does his thing. Like, it's beautiful. It really is. Like, there's character quirks to him, as well as IG-11. Kind of spoilery. If you haven't watched The Mandalorian, go watch it. What are you doing? Listen to this podcast. Go watch The Mandalorian. Then come back and listen to the podcast. I'm not going to alienate you. Just come back and listen. But the fact that he's constantly like, self-destruct. I'm going to self-destruct. I'm going to do it. I'm just going to self-destruct. That was funny. But it didn't intend to be funny. It wasn't hitting you over the head funny. It wasn't like Oscar Isaac in Last Jedi. Is General Hux there? Can I talk to General Hux? Like, that was played out. That was ridiculous. I didn't laugh once. Like, when I saw that in theaters, I started getting angry. I didn't like it at all.
It was the opening of the movie.
Exactly. And you were already losing me. I was like, Ryan, what are you doing? Rion, whatever you want to be called. Like, I wasn't digging it. This one, it was funny and not meaning to be funny, which to me captured the essence of the original trilogy. Like, Han Solo didn't mean to be funny. He was just funny. He said things that were just humorous.
Yeah.
When he wasn't trying to get laughs, it was just his charisma, just the way the delivery came across, and it gave emotional platitudes that translated into humor. So I really dig that about the Mandalorian. Mandalorian's a cool guy, man. He's a cool cat. He's chill as a cucumber. There's a lot of layers to that individual that I think are slowly going to get peeled back. And we're just going to get... We're going to get a fantastic show. And I can definitely see why it's been greenlit for 2 seasons. If we're doing a 1 out of 5 rating for the first episode, I'm going to bring it in a solid 4. Solid 4. The only thing that I'm going to not critique, but the only thing that I didn't feel was memorable was the soundtrack. Like, I didn't walk away like humming a tune. I didn't walk away with like that sound, that music is embedded in my mind. The first time I saw A New Hope and Vader comes out and the Imperial March starts coming out, like, you're hooked, you're paying attention, like, oh shit, what's going down? Like, it's about to hit the fan. Like, you have little kids that you see on YouTube and Facebook videos that they're humming the Imperial March because it's so iconic, because it deafens you to everything else in the room and makes you pay attention to that. We haven't got that yet for The Mandalorian. Hopefully we will get it, but the closest thing I can say to that is the little guitar strumming song that we got in the Solo: A Star Wars Story trailer. Do you remember that? The dun 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 dun, and it had that like little reverberation to it. It was like a little guitar.
Like vaguely, like very, very vaguely, I can remember it.
Oh my god, I'm gonna have to find it for you in a second to play, but it like that stuck with me. That made me try and go hunt that song down or that audio track down to have it on my phone just so I could drive around and hear dun 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 dun. Like it got me. Like even right now, I'm gonna go freaking watch the trailer after I get done with this. But I think the one thing for me that was lacking was the music. The visuals was there, the storytelling was there. There's a lot more to that onion to peel back. Your thoughts. Your thoughts.
Solid non-spoiler review, Dave. Good job.
I try every now and then.
So here's what I'll do. I agreed with what you said. Here's the thing: the music did not make it or break it for me because it wasn't that iconic, which is agreement with what you're saying. It wasn't that iconic of a score, but it's okay because I didn't need it. So I didn't even. There was the one point when we were talking on the spoiler episode that you were like, "Hey, did you remember this?" And I was like, "I didn't even pay attention to the music because for me, I didn't need it. It was whatever. It wasn't iconic enough. It didn't stand out enough. So I don't even pay attention to it anymore." Overall, great episode. We've been talking about this show. It feels like you said, forever, and in reality, it hasn't been that long. But to hear Jon Favreau's push and excitement about what this show has done and what the capabilities are of it, and to actually see it and hear his excitement at Celebration and actually see it, hands down, he did an amazing job with writing it and leading it. Awesome job. Dave Filoni's debut live action, awesome. He did an amazing job. The show for me, like I said, I'm intrigued, I'm enticed, and I want more. I'm kind of sad, and I don't know, this is the way I tend to be about a lot of things. So as I'm thinking through, we already got chapter 1, chapter 2's on Friday. I'm already this is only 8 episodes. And there's nothing about season 2 yet.
Oh, we don't even know the full roadmap to season 1.
We don't. So hear me out. I get that. We don't know the full roadmap, but for me, I'm already okay, you've enticed me enough in this first episode that the next 7 better be amazing. And you better not leave me with a cliffhanger, even though I know you're going to do it. But I'm already okay, we're season 2 just on 1 episode, just because I'm I want to know where this story goes. And the other thing, and I was just going to say, the other thing that I like is I don't feel that it was rushed. I don't feel the story was rushed in chapter 1. I felt it was told in a very right pace. Everything else, they didn't try to cram too much, take out too little. I felt it was exactly perfect. I'm sure there's episodes that I'm not going to agree with, that I'm not going to like. But this one, I was really impressed with what it was. And I watched it when Dave texted me early in the morning, and I was half asleep, and then I watched it later on. Just an all-around good episode. I'm excited. I can't wait for chapter 2. And I think when we do the breakdown episodes and we post those on our Patreon, it's really you stop and think through them. And that's what I think is awesome about it. We get to break down every little segment of it, and I think that's amazing. And that's what really lets you see what happened in this episode.
And I've gone back and forth today, and we talked about it earlier. Do we just go 100% spoiler free, or do we dip our toes into it a little bit here on the regular episode? For those of you guys that are signing up for the Patreon and going for that $10 episode, exclusive, we want to do right by you guys, but at the same time, I still want to talk about it. So I think, John, let's talk a little bit about it, but not too much where we alienate somebody that is going to throw down those 10 buckaroos. What do you say? What do you say?
I'm just gonna stay quiet because once we start talking about it and I have a bad habit and I've done it on previous episodes and he gets super mad at me. I start like giving too much, and that's why I was like, no, I
Well,
think
no,
we
no, no.
should leave
Like
it alone.
I think last night when we did our Patreon episode, we went all in, and there's nothing wrong with going all in. But we went all in, and we took our time, and we turned over every freaking stone out in that desert. We're not gonna do that here. We're just gonna go massive overview, but still have fun with it. I'm afraid. I'm afraid we're not gonna see IG-11 or Nick Nolte anymore in this series.
So one thing that I think,
And okay, so right, spoiler. Anybody that hasn't seen The Mandalorian, go watch it. This is the second time I've said it. I'm not gonna say it a third. Blasters are out. Let's do this.
so here's my thing. I want to say that I think you may be right, and it's Taika Waititi. I said it right. I'm proud of myself.
What do you say?
Who Taika Waititi?
No, you didn't.
Taika.
There you go.
I said it right the first time, then I had something in my throat. But anyway, he voices IG-11. He's also a director on one of the episodes or a couple of the episodes.
Final
I'm not
episode,
sure.
I believe.
So, with that being said, I don't think that's such a big deal. But Nick Nolte, although he wasn't in a lot of the press and he wasn't in a lot of, like, he wasn't at Star Wars Celebration, like we saw Carl Weathers, Gina Carano, Pedro Pascal. We didn't see Giancarlo, the guy who played. We didn't see him either. So, you think through things. We didn't see Werner Herzog either. So, here's my thing. I somewhat agree with you, but I also am like, why would you get a big name for that small of a part? So that's why I believe we will see Nick Nolte's character, the Ugnaught, again. That's my personal opinion. I just don't know why you would make such a big deal about who he is and that he's going to be in the movie. And even though he didn't get a lot of press and we didn't see him in a lot of things, why would you bring an actor such as him into the show and give him a short amount of time?
Well, you can say the same thing with The Force Awakens. Daniel Craig, James Bond, 007, played a stormtrooper. Had 2 lines.
I felt that Nick Nolte was talked up way more than Daniel Craig's role, though.
But that's the thing. Regardless of how big of an actor they are, did he not hit on his performance, regardless if it was 5 minutes or 5 hours?
Well, yeah, I'm not saying that. And you probably get a lower price tag for, even though you're an A-list, you probably get a lower price tag for being just a small supporting role. But I don't know. That's my opinion. That's my perception. People can poke holes in it all freaking day long. And I'm good if you poke holes in it. But I'm just saying that's my opinion.
So think of it this way. Let's say they overpaid for Nick Nolte, even though he hasn't been in this limelight in a while, whatever. Whatever they paid him, I feel it was duly justified, even if it was for that one episode. Because he was memorable. People that have seen that episode, they're laughing that they're stuck on the "I have spoken," and you know what I mean. Like that's stuck in their head. That is now a pop culture thing with Nick Nolte. It is. So regardless of how much screen time he got, he became memorable. He stuck in your head. Sometimes, I'm going to go Batman quote right here. You either die the hero or you live long enough to see yourself become the villain. I'd rather not get oversaturated like I am with The Walking Dead and can't tolerate it.
I don't think you would ever get that.
Well, no, but that's what I'm saying. But if you get so much of one character, you're done.
Yeah.
That's the way I feel about Ahsoka. I'm over Ahsoka. I'm soaked.
You cannot just make up random words.
Yeah, I can. You do it all the time. I'm soaking in Ahsoka, okay? How about that? I've got too much Ahsoka in my life.
Enough with Ahsoka.
Before I get on that soapbox again. But no, I think Nick Nolte did a fantastic job. I'd love to see him back. I just don't. I don't know if the story permits because I feel like he lives on that planet. He does live on that planet that we meet him. I don't see him coming off that planet.
I've spoken.
Okay, that's it. You've spoken.
I've spoken.
What'd
I'm
you
gonna turn my little what is those creatures called?
blurp?
Blurp. I'm just gonna turn my little blurp away and walk in.
What did you think of IG-11?
Eh, like I think he was talked up too. I liked IG-11. I liked the character, but I
you
thought
gotta talk up these characters because this is the first time you have a TV show, so everything's got to be big.
hmm, for me personally, I don't need it to be that way. There's certain like talking up Pedro Pascal, talking up Gina Carano, talking up Carl Weathers. Absolutely, let's talk up those people all day long. But anybody, if you're a supporting role, to me, yeah, you need those people. They are very important to what you have to do and what the message is sent and the story is told. But I don't need that. I don't look that in depth about it. And people can say this, and I'm okay if people criticize me. Dave criticized me all the time. I'm a surface level type of person when it comes to things like this. I see in depth a little bit with movies and TV shows, but for me, the character that it was, I thought it was talked up too much. IG-11, I thought was pretty cool character. I agree with you that the whole self-destruct thing was, it wasn't that. It was not so hit on the head funny. It was just he's following protocol. Like he's a droid that's programmed to do something, and he's executing the something he was programmed to do. His actions, his movement, his ability to do what he did, outstanding.
Yeah, he was a beast, just spinning, flipping, well, not flipping, but flipping body parts, like shooting behind his back. Like
Yeah,
it was phenomenal. We've seen that already in the trailers. I
he
think
was just and he was just talked up too much.
I think execution was fantastic. We so yes, he was talked up a lot, but we've never seen a droid like this before. We've never seen an IG hunting assassin droid like this before. Seeing it
No,
flushed out and seeing what it's capable of is fantastic. K2SO picked up a rifle and did a couple shots here and there and killed a couple stormtroopers and then perished. Okay. R2 does a little electrocuting here and there with his little prongs and flies on his little jetpack propulsion things, and that's it. You haven't seen what an IG droid is capable of, so I get it. They had to make a big splash to get everybody to pay attention and say, hey, this is going to be badass. Check it out. See what happens. Is it regrettable that we might not get him anymore in the series? 100%, absolutely. But did he serve his purpose and create a great 8-minute, 5-minute scene? I agree. I think he did.
he was Captain Phasma.
No, he wasn't Captain Phasma. How dare you? Captain Phasma didn't do anything. Did Captain Phasma even fire a bolt? A blaster bolt?
I don't
No.
remember. She
No.
fought with her little rod thingy.
Captain Phasma didn't have a rod thingy.
She did. In The Last Jedi.
You're talking about the little like spike thing? When you did the
Yeah.
spin thing, it made me think of the guy in
Oh,
Force
the
Awakens.
gun. Oh.
The guy that was like, traitor!
Oh yeah, I know which one you're talking about. No, that's not what I meant. I meant the
The silver
spear
spike?
pulse. Yeah,
That was 2 minutes. Phasma's
Captain
in,
Phasma.
Phasma's in a whole other bunch. Anyway, as we digress, what'd you think of the other Mandos? Or the Mando Club? Club Mando.
I liked it. I liked the perception that it gave off. I just felt it gave a very underground feel that something happened, and that's what they were resorted to.
To living in the shadows.
Yep. But they're slowly building their way back up to power. It's all a mistake because I feel like I'll get too spoilered. I'll get too depth.
There's nothing wrong with it. Just dip your toes in.
Nah.
Just a little dip, little dip.
No, that's all I'm going to say.
Okay, I love the fact that It is 100% Beskar armor. Werner Herzog is paying the Mandalorian in Beskar armor. He's gonna start building up his armor back to 100% again. He's looking clean, getting more polish, getting chrome, shiny and chrome. Um, I dig it, man. What do you think of Werner Herzog now that you got to see the full scene?
I still dig him. I still dig the whole line about bounty hunting's a complicated thing or complicated job, whatever he says. I think it's thing. And so overall, our character is a beast, but he's very tactful and very good at what he does. And I think there was an article that we posted about the fact that he didn't have to watch Star Wars before he got the role. Like, yeah, and when he was asked, like, why did Jon Favreau come to you? He said he had seen what I had done, and he knew that it was something I could put into my arsenal.
Yep.
So he said, "Hey, guy, we want you." And so I want his character expanded on more, and I'm interested to see what else comes out of it. But I'm also interested to see. I was thinking about something that I was like, man, that's going to be big spoilers, so I don't want to say that. I also want to see like what what he's doing. Like, does he have does somebody pay him to do this, or is he the guy? That's what I want to know.
Is he a middleman or is he the guy? Okay,
yeah, because there was another article that I read that I think gets way into spoiling on the bounty and the mission and what it could potentially mean. And so for me, I'm just like, I don't see that, and that's where I think that fan theory is off base.
Is it the same theory that I had?
It is the same theory you had, but it's off base with what they say, who they say Werner Herzog is working for.
I don't remember that part of the article. Anyway, we're yeah.
That's way big spoiler, guys. I'm sorry. You got to go to the Patreon because that's getting into a lot more in-depth information.
Okay. Do you think we're going to see Werner Herzog in episode 2?
Yes.
Okay.
I don't think we're going to get him every single episode, but I think we're going to get him sprinkled in and out of episodes. Like we know, I honestly thought we were going to see Gina Carano in the first episode, and we didn't. Her name, Kara is the character, I think the name. I forget the last name. Cara Dune. Yeah, I was expecting to see her, but I'm okay that we didn't. Like I said, the more and more I talk about this, I'm just like, I can't wait for chapter 2. Like, I just can't wait to see episode 2.
It's awesome. Like, literally, the guys that I work with, they're like, no, man, I didn't get a chance to see it. My chick wanted to watch freaking Hannah Montana or whatever on Disney Plus. They haven't seen it yet. So I'm like, dude, watch it so we can talk about it. Like, this is ridiculous. I need to have more people in my life that I can talk to about this episode. The last thing that we see in this episode, and this is crazy spoiler, way more in depth in our Patreon episode. Check it out. But you have the same freaking species, which we don't even know the species name of Yoda, is the bounty.
AKA Yuck.
So the reason me and John were talking on the Patreon. What are we gonna name this little baby? What's the baby's name? And John,
I forgot the first name we were gonna say. What was the first name I said?
You went with Chuck.
I went with Chuck, and you're like, it can't be Chuck.
I said, I can't be Chuck. Every species, every one of these aliens that we've seen, the only 2 before this baby, this is the 3rd, has been Yoda and Yaddle. Yaddle was first introduced into the Phantom Menace on the Jedi Council as a Jedi Master. And then I think you see her again in Attack of the Clones. I don't remember for sure, but
she was gone off the council before the Attack of the Clones.
Okay, there you go. So we said, you know what? It's got to have a Y name. So instead of Chuck, take the C off, add a Y. We got Baby Yuck. Baby Yuck's adorable, by the way.
Baby Yuck is adorable. 50 years old. It's adorable.
Yeah. Baby Yuck. I did not see that coming at all. When I got on board for the Mandalorian train, I did not think we'd be seeing a baby of Yoda species.
I don't think anybody did. I honestly don't think a single soul in the entire world that's not privy to Star Wars information that works at Lucasfilms or at Disney, I don't think a single individual saw that coming. Not a single one. Prove me wrong. Prove me wrong.
Like you talk about Kevin Smith's mind melting. This is right up there. This is the same equivalent, if you ask me.
Mind melted. True story.
Like same equivalent. When IG-11 said, "Oh, this is 50," no, Mandalorian's like, "This is 50 years old. It can't be. Some species age differently." And then they showed a little baby Yuck. I lost my shit. I was like, "Oh my god, it's a Yoda species!" And everybody's so convinced it's Yoda.
Oh my god, I've had so many questions about that. It's not Yoda.
Everyone's so convinced it's Yoda. It's not Yoda. I want to make a t-shirt that says it's not Yoda. It's not Yoda, it's Yuck.
I was gonna say it's not Yoda, it's Yuck.
Would you buy that shirt?
I would. Nobody else would buy it because who would wear a shirt that says it's not Yoda, it's Yuck?
No one would know. The people that watch the show. We're gonna make this shirt. I'm gonna talk to my shirt guy. But no, it's bombshell. This has huge ramifications for the Star Wars universe. It really does. I'm excited. Episode 1 of the books. I dig it. John, I can't wait for episode 2. I think you're right there with me. Anything else before we move on to the next topic?
Just something that we posted on our Facebook page. Pedro Pascal had an interview and released. This is another spoiler, so if you don't want to hear it, kind of skip ahead like 30 seconds. He released a name. The Mandalorian does have a name. And he released the name. And I'm translating it based on how it was written in the article as Din Djarin or Din Djarin. I haven't actually watched the interview. I just watched how it was translated in the article, and they did say spelling. It may not be exactly correct, but I don't know. I'm okay. I was okay with it being the Mandalorian.
Yeah. I don't know how I feel about it one way or the other right now. Do I wish I would have learned about it in the show first versus an interview with Pedro? Yeah, 100%. Or maybe it's a misdirection. Maybe that's not even his name.
Yeah, we've been misdirected this entire, the trailers and everything have been a misdirection, which is classic. So we'll see what happens.
Either way, I dig it. I'm hooked. Like, Disney Plus, take the rest of my money. Take
only
it.
$7 a month.
Hey, that's all you need.
Okay, moving on from The Mandalorian, we got Secrets of the Jedi, which is a Star Wars book, obviously, that's told through the view of Luke Skywalker, encompasses everything within his life and things like that throughout the Jedi Order, kind of how it became to be, the history and origins and things like that. So that's out already. And then...
Which I did pick up, by the way.
I figured you would.
What's that supposed to mean?
I figured you would. Also, we have The Rise of Skywalker, or Journey to the Rise of Skywalker, Force Collector, which will be out on November 19th, which is next Tuesday, if I'm correct. This book's released on Tuesday. StarWars.com released an exclusive excerpt on their page that you guys can go and take a look at that and read.
So, guys, if you want to get the book, want to check it out, want to listen to it for free, and you do not have a current Audible account, you can go ahead and check out our Audible account on our Facebook page. Give it a click, get 2 free books for 30 months at no charge to you whatsoever. You can pick up Resistance Reborn, which that book is getting a lot of traction. Haven't had a chance yet to start reading it myself, but it is on my list. Your next one, obviously, check out The Force Collector, which it is a young adult novel, but it looks fascinating. It looks very interesting. I can't wait to get my hands on it. John, what do you think? You can check out
one of these? Are you going to
pick
up Force Collector?
Yeah, I'm going to pick it up. I already have it pre-ordered on my my Audible account.
Yeah, so for me, I'm not going to do either book, but again, I'm not a fan of books, or I like books, but I don't read them as much as Dave reads them. Um, I don't know. The Force Collector book, it was a young adult novel, so I was kind of like, I don't know. But it's a book on the journey to the Rise of Skywalker, which I thought was very different. But
What do you mean very different?
like I know there's been young adult novels, but they've been promoting this book very heavily as as a book that's like, hey guys, you got to read this. It's on the journey that you need to check this out. So that's what I mean by different.
Okay. Either way, guys, gals, grits, chis, check out that link that is on our Facebook page, and by all means, pick up an audiobook or two on us.
All right. We talked about it at the beginning of the show. We're going to talk about it a little bit more, and that's it. The Greedo and Han scene that was changed in Disney Plus.
McClunky.
So I went back and I reread the article. Because they were like, okay, this was a change. A lot of people were upset about the fact that they changed it where Greedo shot Han first, and his hand came up in a very awkward, not normal fashion based on the shot. And then they said they did the same thing, except now, before Greedo dies, his last words are McClunky. I'm just like, how are you like, McClunky?
Hey, we don't know what McClunky means. McClunky can mean F you.
And I did go back and verify because we had this conversation earlier, and you were like, no, I don't remember that part of the article. There is no subtitles for this. According to the article, you said you saw it, right?
Someone had it on Facebook and I saw it on there. Unless they added it in themselves.
They may have added it in themselves, but all I know is that the article stated that we posted on our Facebook page. It states that there are no subtitles, so you really don't know what it means or what it is, or how it's like. You just don't know what it is. I guess my biggest question is, why would you do that, Disney? Why? Why wouldn't you just go back to the original 1977 shot?
Why would you continue to change an already pivotal, controversial scene?
Yeah, because all it's going to be is backlash at this point. That's all it's going to continue to be.
McClunky.
You and your McClunky.
That's just what I'm going to say for now. Like, people are going to be like, David, what about this, and this? McClunky. Like, that's all I got, man. Like, hey, that's it.
You want to McClunky this? Like, you get a clunker and you got to walk around?
That sounds highly intense, John.
Anyway, so I'm sure
PG-13 program.
We'll continue to find out more information on McClunky. I'm sure Disney, Lucasfilms, or somebody will come out and say, hey, it's actually a mistype or misdirection or something. I doubt that's the case.
McClunky.
But we'll see what else comes out of this, and we'll go from there. Other than that, that's all I had for today. You, Dave?
I don't think I have anything else other than McClunky.
McClunky.
That's all I got, man. That's all you need. That's all you need is some McClunky in your life.
Guys, we thank you for tuning in today. We are the Balance of the Force podcast. And as always, may the Force be with you.
Once more, the Sith will rule the galaxy.